I've already done Traders. I wouldn't do House of Villains. And honestly, I'm having so much fun working outside of the Bravo space that I'm looking forward to more projects with Amazon, hopefully, and other networks.
You are reality TV gold here. And the last time we did get to see you, it was all too brief on the traders. You mentioned it a little bit. Was there redemption that you got on the GOAT? Can we expect to see a new Reza in the competition mix?
100%. I did the Traders, like they canceled Shaw's and offered me Traders. I was in a fog from like this thing that I love so much being canceled. I went into it thinking I'm making good TV, not realizing there are people that were not famous that were there to change their financial trajectory. They were talking about how much my shoes cost, and I knew it was a wrap for me. I wasn't going to make it very far. So when I got the opportunity to do the GOAT, I was dead set on redemption, if nothing else. I wasn't looking forward to any of it. And Stephanie, wouldn't you know, all the things that I was dreading, like cohabitating in twin beds with
Yeah.
three other grown men in my room and sharing a bathroom. And it turned out to be the funnest times cutting it up with Wendell, Justin, and Chef Jason in the evenings. We would laugh until literally my belly was hurting the whole time. And I can't believe they paid me to like catch, you know, flying things coming at me or squeezing things or doing these ridiculous competitions. And I got paid and had the time of my life.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. So you definitely got your second chance after the traders there. Do you think things would have been different if you were on like the second season with all reality
Yes.
stars? Yeah.
Yeah, season one, Peacock was being their obvious normal selves and being super cheap. They had people that were getting $100 a day. They forgot about people that were stuck in the room. I flew home with a girl who was an alternate, and they forgot about her in her room. And she told me she was getting $100 a day. I was like, and the GOAT felt like we were shooting a Hollywood like blockbuster. I couldn't believe the number of cameras and the crew and the professionalism and the scale. Like, I wish I had been at Amazon and Prime from, day one. Like, forget Peacock. Like, hello, Amazon.
Woo! Okay, we're moving on up here. Oh my God, I love it. And you did chat a little bit about how you got along with like the guys in the house, Wendell, the chef. But
Yeah,
what about, was there anybody you did like go toe to toe with? Was there anybody you had some kind of tension with, any drama? Because
totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So Devon had this weird, like, she needed this money energy. And I felt like she came from a competition background and she and I didn't connect at all whatsoever. Jill made me feel like I was back in a bazaar in Iran. She had like she was kept trying to hawk her wares and do Passover and act like Goat Manor was her house. And literally, she was acting like she acted on Below Deck, which was a huge turnoff to me, how she was treating the crew and production. So, although she and I had a relationship outside of the house and we were cool coming into the house, watching how she was treating the people that were making great TV for us and helping us be reality stars was no bueno. And I literally was like, ooh, she's fugazi. I can't mess with that.
So the Bravo Alliance doesn't seem like it's going to last too long.
No, there was no Bravo Alliance, really. It was just a lot of talk, and clearly you can tell from the way Jill played the game that there was zero alliance.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's funny because we're talking about the traders too. There are so many of these parallels between, like, in the second season, there were the gamers and then those from the Bravo universe. So I thought that the Bravo people would have like this connection right away, and then like they would be against the gamers, and we would kind of see that back and forth. But it seemed like there was a lot of shifting alliances going on in the house, and it wasn't so cut and dry.
Definitely season one was a lot different than season two of The Traders, but you realize like I'm Devon came into this from The Challenge and Big Brother, and she has all these seasons and, you know, not had never won before. And I have like 9 seasons of Shaws of Sunset. I was there from day one until the day the show ended. I felt like I was a pawn in Wendell and Davon's world, and I
Mm.
was there to have fun, and I was playing it differently than a gamer who has never had a win, like, and has so much to prove. How weird would it be for Devon to come into that house and lose to like a Reza? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the gamers definitely have a different strategy, and it's less fun than the people who don't have a gamer strategy, in my humble opinion.
Okay, so definitely some things that we have to look forward to in this season. I'm excited. And I do want to wind down here and say, like, the Shaws, we're getting like kind of a Shaws of Sunset resurgence too, with the shows being back on streaming services now.
Yeah.
You think that there could be any kind of reunion, any kind of return to Bravo for you?
Honestly, Bravo is not that kind of network. They don't bring back their talent
Mm.
unless they're housewives. The
Right.
only space Bravo provides for people is Real Housewives, Girls Trip, Traders, or House of Villains. And I've already done Traders. I wouldn't do House of Villains. And honestly, I'm having so much fun working outside of the Bravo space that I'm looking forward to more projects with Amazon, hopefully, and other networks.
Oh, okay. I mean, I definitely need to see you on another show again. So I hope that we get to work something out there with Amazon, no matter where it is, because you are
Thank you.
TV gold here.
You're such a
You are-
sweetheart,
oh
Stephanie.
my
Thank
gosh.
you.
I am going to hit the ground running here.
Okay.
Joey, I wanted to go with you first. You
Yes.
really, speaking of hit the ground running, you really hit the ground running with the GOAT here. How did
Yeah.
you approach this game differently than the circle, if at all, or were there any similarities?
The similarity is I'm never prepared and I don't know what I'm doing. And I just say, throw me in. And to tell you the truth, when I got called to do the show, it wasn't something that I was like, yeah, I want to go do another competition show. You know, the producer, Alon and Bill, are phenomenal. I've worked with Alon before. He's a great guy. And when he told me about this, I trust him. And I said, dude, if you want to go do this, let's go jam and let's go have some fun. And that's what it was. So walking into the house, again, with shows like this, you have to look at it as anything can happen. So if you have a preconceived notion that you're like stuck to, you're not going to have a good experience because it's not going to go that way. I just think go in, have some fun, see what happens, and roll the dice.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's kind of similar with the circle because you aren't seeing your competition necessarily. So it's a totally different ballgame here with the Go, with the competition side of things. I imagine it was a lot of trying to adjust to a different situation there for you. And
Yeah, for sure. I
yeah.
think for everyone, I mean, it just became a thing of we're all friends right off the bat, and then seeing the alliances starting and gossiping starting, and you're like, oh, you're sitting back like, oh no, it's starting. It's starting.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of that, there may have been some like strategy talks between you and Tayshia there. How are things with you guys, strategy wise, friendship wise, after the season?
We don't talk.
I
This is
imagine
the
you
first time we've seen each other.
I never want to talk
Yeah.
to me again.
Mad beef. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I mean,
everyone's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, again, I think he's probably from more of the background of like you kind of have to just go with the flow and strategy is probably part of your game.
Yeah.
It's not part of mine. So I think we just kind of took it with
Yeah.
a grain of salt.
I don't want to tease too much, but there may or may not have been like a little flirtatious moment that was trying to
I mean,
Did we flirt? I'm trying to remember. Did we flirt?
Joey, it wasn't a weed.
Did we flirt? I got okay. The rumors are true. Okay, it's true. No, but Tayshia was a person from the start who came in with such a presence and a personality that commands a room. And I think a lot of people were drawn to that. And then there were people who were intimidated by that. And that's just going to come with the territory.
Rumors. Speaking of rumors, I don't know, like your single status, Tayshia, your relationship status. I have seen you linked maybe with Luke from Summer House. Is that a thing that you can talk about?
You know, right now I'm linked with Joey and Lauren.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just out here living life.
Living life, loving it. Okay, and Lauren, speaking of love, relationships, all that other stuff, you have the background in that kind of situation there with TV. what was the differences like between Love is Blind, The GOAT? Did you find one more difficult than the other?
Oh, it's very different. Extremely different. I mean, competition is it's a whole new world than, trying to find love. I feel like going on a dating show, even though, well, it's emotional on both shows, but, I'm not used to being in a strategic environment where, you have to watch your back and, people might be doing some backstabbing and some conniving things, so I wasn't really used to that. So for me, it was really an adjustment. But although I love like the physical aspect of it too, like the physical challenges were really fun. So I enjoyed that. And I'm just happy to be on something new and exciting.
All three of you, I would say, like, were very strong from the physical standpoint of things, strategy standpoint of things. Would you guys be interested in like trying your hands at another challenge type of show or anything like that in the future? I know there's been some rumblings about even like a Netflix type of challenge show. Would that be something that any of you would be interested in doing in the future? Something like that?
I'll be a host.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. I'd like to host.
I would love to host.
Look, as much as like I feel like sometimes people probably don't think that I could kind of hold my own, but I'll tell you, I box, I run, I am athletic. I will hold my own.
Mhm.
But also at the same time, this took a whirlwind on me. Okay. So this was a lot. So yes, we'll just host it all. You found your three hosts.
People gotta remember when you're watching an episode of this show and any of these shows, this is a whole day. So you're seeing a fragment. It is mentally taxing. So you have to really be strong-willed, be ready for whatever a game or competition is going to throw at you, because it does become so real so quick. I've done 3 competition shows in a row now. I would like to say no more, but if just knowing me, if someone calls, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do it again. So we'll see what happens.
So never say never.
Never say never.
And I mean, jumping off that point as well, you guys all had, I would say, different approaches to the game. We had like strategy side of things, social side of things. Did you know what you were getting into with the GOAT? This is a new concept here. Like, what was it? Did you know it was going to be like a competition focus? What were some of the talks like before you even joined the show?
Competition, comedy.
Yes.
Right.
And it was supposed to just be fun.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason why we all got along so well at the beginning is because we were all just excited to have fun with each other. The personalities in that house, I mean, come on, we have like the best cast ever. So it felt really lighthearted like the first day. And then, like we said, with the competition, that kind of just flipped a switch. And I don't think I was prepared for what that was to bring. Like, that's not my wheelhouse in any way, shape, or form. So it was a lot for me to adjust to. In fact, I'm still adjusting, but it was different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just to echo off of that, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't watch many competition shows except The Circle.
Yeah.
So I heard that it could get rough, but I'm thinking like, okay, it's gonna be fun. Physical challenges. I'm in shape. I'm gonna keep that. But to be honest, I wasn't thinking that much about okay, I gotta watch them. I'm gonna. Let's vote them out. I'm good. I wasn't as deep into that as I should have been.
Right.
I would honestly say out of all 3 of us, I think it's perfect we're together, because I'm not just saying this because we're here. I think all of us really did go into this just wanting to just have fun and rolling the dice and seeing what happens. And it's not no shade to anyone else, but that was not everyone else. A lot of people did come in with, I gotta win. Where all of us were just like, yo, what's good? Let's have some fun. Let's chop it up. Let's be competitive. And I think that's super special,
Definitely. And were there any rumblings about like a lot of these shows, there's like pre-gaming going on. If you know somebody who's going to be on the show, did you guys know anybody else who was going to be on the show? I know you had The Bachelor.
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody.
When Joe Amabile walked in from the Bachelor franchise, or actually I walked in and I saw him, you saw me, I was like shaking. I was like, no freaking way. I was not expecting that.
That's how I felt about Joey.
Yeah, but I was so excited to see you. Yeah.
So we have some surprises in store, both for the viewers, for you guys. We get to see it. I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat about the GOAT today. I'm so excited to chat with you guys about the GOAT. I got the chance to see some of the episodes. It's wild and it's like perfect television. CJ, I'm actually going to start with you because your background is in dealing with F-boys here. How were you able to take some of those skills to your journey on the GOAT?
Well, think coming off a dating show, a lot of people were underestimating me. And I'm up against the guy from Survivor. Sure, he had to survive for a month on like a bag of rice, but I had to do things that were equally as challenging. I had to make men cry.
Right.
So I was ready.
And I bet you did that well.
I did. I did.
Are we going to see some of those situations here on the go? Are you gonna, you didn't mention that you didn't have necessarily the competition background, but you do have these interpersonal skills that you got to develop on FY Island. So can you tease a little bit about your journey from a competitive standpoint on this new experience?
I was really into putting in no effort for the show because I thought that was my strategy going in. And I can say that probably was someone else's strategy too. When you put in just a little effort.
Are you insinuating that was me?
Joe,
So.
I don't think there's a
No.
sleepier person on the cast.
I disagree, but go ahead.
We're smarter, not harder.
This is your time.
The shade is real.
But no, I think there was some technique, but once the competition started and once you turn on and people see the real you really can't go back. And I quickly realized that I was pretty fierce and I had a few people to help bring that out in me.
Ooh, okay, maybe a little something to look forward to there. And, I am going to switch over to Joe. Speaking of this whole competitive nature of things, you have the experience on Dancing with the Stars, but this is a whole different ball game here, Joe. So what can you tell us about dealing with the cutthroat nature of a competition like the GOAT?
I was chilling. I think the main for, you don't want to take anything too serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it was truthfully, that was more of my strategy to kind of just chill out. And, the people that are the most outspoken on a competition show usually put targets on their head or on their back. So it was more trying to hide a little bit and
You were
really,
on the couch. You were vertical.
honestly, I wanted to just get along with everyone
course.
because it is a numbers game. So that was
Were you able to make that happen?
Was I able to make it? I mean, you got to
Yeah.
stay tuned. You got to stay
Ah.
tuned. Stay tuned.
A
Tune
little bit, I
into
know.
the GOAT. It's on Amazon and Freevee.
Right, there you go. And I mean, jumping off that point of, maybe taking a step back from things from the beginning, I understand that this was filmed a couple months after you got married to Serena there. Was there was it hard to be away from her? Were you kind of missing her during this experience?
It's always hard to be away from my lovely wife. But we were actually, we were probably married for, I want to say like 7 months.
Oh, okay.
Going into the show. So it was a little bit, but what was nice is I was still able to stay in contact with her and talk to her pretty much every night. And she knows the game. I mean, when you do a show like Bachelor in Paradise, you don't have any contact to the outside world. And it's just something, it's just like, it's tough, especially at the beginning of a marriage, but we made it work. And then it's always nice when you get home and you haven't seen your loved one in a month. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's a different ballgame than like Big Brother where you're cut off from everything. So I imagine that it was nice to have that outlet for all of you, to have somebody that you could call home and kind of decompress with during this kind of competition show. Yeah. And Justin, I'm going to go to you next. You are quite a force to be reckoned with in this competition here. How did you prepare for a show like this? Did you have any of your Drag Race background that you could fall back on?
Oh, absolutely not. And here's the thing. Drag Race is something that is in my wheelhouse. You do challenge yourself with your improv, your comedic timing, sewing skills, dancing, singing, and all of that. But one thing that we did not have to do was the social aspect, which is a big element in this game. I grew up in Mesquite. I'm one of 7. I have a very masculine father. And so I did have a few failed attempts at little league sports activities. And this was another opportunity for me to redeem myself. And I think I just dove in head first in the mud, in the water, in everything that was literally thrown at us. This show is beyond camp and completely unhinged. I had no idea what I was walking into. So there was like the Drag Race element of like, there's a mini challenge for the GOAT and then an elimination challenge. And that was the only thing that I was familiar with. But I met some amazing people, formed some incredibly lifelong bonds. But you all get your popcorn ready and get right in front of the
100%.
television on May 9th because it is going down.
I mean, yeah, jumping off that point, I don't want to give anything away, but you do find yourself in the mix there, drama-wise. Can you tease anything about that? Are you coming away with on good terms with everyone, or is there maybe some people you're like, I don't know?
Yeah, I think when you're thrown into a house, so one thing about Drag Race, okay, like I said,
Be honest.
Yeah. Get the tea.
when you are living with people, you're sleeping on a half of a twin size bed, day in and day out. You're having to mesh with different personalities, walks of life. And there are some that have been on serious competition shows like Big Brother and Survivor. So they have like a full notebook of brackets and, strategies. And I think for someone like me, I was just very eager to be there. I felt like I was going away to a summer camp. I brought everybody little glasses and bandanas and like fun stuff. And then I realized, whoa, there's $200,000 up for grabs. I am walking away. I think it's like a family. You get into it with someone, you're like, you're getting on my nerves today. I need a timeout. Let's table this conversation. Let's come back to it. And the next day you're like, hey, that was really not that serious.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, at the end of the day. So I feel like we were all able to do that in the end. Now, did I grow closer with some people? Absolutely, naturally.
Of course.
Some people are just better than others.
Oh, names. Name them.
I've already said too much.
Name them. Name them.
I was hoping to get some more tea there.
She walked in telling me that she loves Serena, my wife, and said, I wish she was on the show.
I would have traded
so,
any of the league.
So I'm assuming I'm in that. I fall in that category.
Serena is phenomenal. I want her as my friend anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
I would.
I think a couple people were just a little bit draining.
Yeah, we
as
didn't
far
like
as the fun
we
aspect.
didn't like big fun killers. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So definitely something we're going to have to look out for. I'm excited to see everything going on in the GOAT. I'm so excited. You guys, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. It was a pleasure.